What is going on, everybody? Thank you for joining today's podcast. It's going to be an interesting podcast today. We're going to be interviewing the boy Ryan. In order to stay tuned with what me and Ryan are doing, you can follow his personal Instagram. It's going to be at Rye the Crypto Guy.
Yes, sir.
Mine is going to be at the Bag Chaser. Together, we make up the master nodes, and we're going to be talking about Ryan's journey today. Make sure to stay to the end to hear some more interesting resources that we have to get you guys more tuned into the cryptocurrency space.
Yeah, this is going to be a two-part series, one with me and Nestor going over the state of an investor, kind of where we were when we first started investing, where we're at now today, and kind of just some advice that we would give that we've learned from along the way.
Yeah, first question I actually want to ask you today is, what do you think it means to be an investor?
To me, to be an investor, I think kind of means like you're actually doing something with your money. You know, you're not just spending it just to spend it or, enjoying like the little things in life. You're focused on the future. You know, I know a lot of people that either say they're investing but aren't, or aren't investing and know they aren't. They're okay with that. But at the end of the day, I feel like anyone that's investing or anyone that is an investor is really focusing on their financial future, right? There's a lot of people out there that aren't. There actually was a study that me and Nestor went over when we were first writing out our cryptocurrency course, Digital Gold Rush. And in that study, it talked about 33% of Americans writing down long-term financial plans. Only 33%. That's not even half of Americans in this country. So if only 33% are focusing on their financial future, writing down financial plans, and this doesn't necessarily mean they're actually physically writing them down. They could also mean that they're setting themselves up for financial success by investing, by doing the necessary steps that need to be taken in order to invest in their future. So what it means for me to be an investor, if I had to put it in one word, would be prepared. Because you're preparing yourselves for a future of which your finances are kind of in place. You're allowing yourself to not have to worry about, gosh, what am I going to do for my retirement? Do I have a retirement fund? Do I want to keep working till I'm 85 years old? You know, I know a lot of people that still are working past their 60, 65-year-old age, but they're doing it out of enjoyment, right? They're not doing it because they need to work. They're doing it because they want to work. And so there's a lot of people out there that right now are like, oh, retirement's so far away, I don't even want to worry about it. But no, that's something you should worry about right now. Because the further in advance that you worry about it and you prepare for it, the less you actually have to work. The less you have to work. Not that you want to work, but that you have to work.
I totally agree with that. A lot of people, they don't plan for success, so at the end of the day, they're setting themselves up for failure. Let's talk about the first time you invested. Were you scared, or what were the feelings going through your head when you started?
I think when I first started investing, it was kind of like, it was a rush, really, because I remember when you actually put me on to investing in the beginning, and when we were actually starting to get serious about cryptocurrency, really opened up my world to the investment opportunities that could come. You know, I remember one of the most significant times of my investing adventure so far was actually during the pandemic, right? During that time, there was a lot of talk of, which company is going to do the most? Because I feel like even during a crisis, people are talking about money. You know, money is always on people's minds. And so people were really kind of like reaping the opportunity because we were in a world crisis. There was a lot going on. It was like a world war, like something big where it was global. It wasn't just United States based. This was global. So it really affected everyone. And I remember looking at the economy and looking at the different types of opportunities that they were out there at the time and the amount of money that was coming in, because I remember, gosh, I'm receiving all this money from Money Bag Joe. You might as well put work to it, right? I'm never going to have this opportunity again to get all this money from someone. And so I remember thinking to myself, like, how can I seize this opportunity, right? Because we're looking at all these companies that either aren't doing so well or that are doing well and could possibly do better coming out of this crisis. And so although it wasn't kind of like the best time to be thinking about something like this. I feel like a lot of people that seize the opportunity to really grow during the pandemic turn that into what's called the bandemic, So they turned a lot of this money making opportunities during this time. And so I don't think I was so much scared when I first started investing. I think I was more really excited. Not because of the pandemic. I know the pandemic was a very serious thing and did affect a lot of people, but the opportunities that came out of the pandemic financially was revolutionary. It was kind of like one of those once in a lifetime opportunities. We saw this during the 2008 recession. Although a lot of people lost their jobs and it was a very devastating time, a lot of people also used it as an opportunity to grow financially. And so when I first started investing, I wasn't, like I said, as so much scared. I was more excited because of the opportunity that was being brought to me financially.
So the next question that kind of ties into it is like, how did you start investing?
Yeah, like I said, going back to it, you introduced me to investing back in 2018, I believe. And this was first with cryptocurrency. Before that, I've had some exposure to like investing in business for my family members, but it wasn't like too much to the point where I was like highly encouraged to do so. I remember you approached me and you were telling me about this thing called Bitcoin and how it was, revolutionary. We should all get into it. And it wasn't just me, it was like a group of our friends, right? And we didn't really, a lot of us really didn't care for it. I remember caring for it only because it was like a big thing back in 2018. Everyone was talking about it, how, people made money overnight. And so I do remember that's kind of how I got started, was hearing it from you, hearing about it from other people and being like, oh, okay, this Bitcoin thing sounds good. And then from there, it didn't just go to cryptocurrency. It also went to stocks. Then it went to ETFs. And then, now it's just like a broad band of things. I'm investing in like futures, options. So it started with one thing, cryptocurrency. And then my interest started to slowly develop over time because I started to discover different types of assets and different types of asset classes. As Warren Buffett once said,
In order to make wealth, you have to use concentration. And in order to keep that wealth, you have to then diversify.
There we go. That's why you're the GOAT. That's why you're the GOAT. And so, yeah, so I kind of used the opportunity, like I said before, to really start my journey. And then from there, it kind of just grew into what it is today.
So just going based off your journey and all these different experiences that you've had, what is one tip that you'd give an investor that is kind of just starting off?
To be honest, I feel like I'm just starting off as well. And so what I would say is for anyone that is not sure on where to go, like how to even like start from like the very, very beginning, is I would say, kind of do or go get into an asset that makes you feel most comfortable, right? For me, it was cryptocurrency. For you, I believe it was the same. And then from there, look at other assets, see how well they do in certain environments, in certain market conditions, and see if they really fall to like your liking. For me, I liked crypto's volatility. I liked the fact that the volatile markets gave me the opportunity to make wealth super quick, But at the same time, a lot of people like to take things slow. They don't like crypto's volatility. They don't like the fact that, this is a fast-paced game. They like things slow. So then if that's the case, they could easily invest in like the S&P or ETF that grows around 10% a year. Yeah, it's slow gain, but it's pretty much constant, or it's something that you can rely on and easily fall back on and not have to really worry about. It's like a kind of set and forget type of thing, So I would recommend, or if I can make one suggestion, it probably would be to make sure that you guys are focusing on one asset when you first start off. Don't overwhelm yourself, right? And then from there, move on to another asset and then add another asset and then slowly over time diversify your portfolio so that way you aren't just concentrating on one asset. You're diversifying in order to maintain that wealth, as Warren Buffett once said and as Nestor requoted.
All right, so that was Ryan's interview. I appreciate you for being here, for answering our questions here today. and I hope you guys got some value out of that. Remember to follow and subscribe to all of our social media accounts. It's going to be at the Masternodes. We have Instagram, Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Twitter, and we actually added Threads recently. We also have our podcast experience. We're on YouTube, Spotify, Google Podcasts, Apple Podcasts, Stitcher, and all your other favorite podcast sources. And you can check out our website, themasternodes.square.site. Follow that email list to get some great information on there. We also have a course that we dropped. It's going to have so much great information for you guys. It's really going over everything that you need to know when you're just starting out in this space. And it's ultimately very, very informational. And we also are going to connect you in that course into our Discord. Our Discord has lots of great information, such as FAQs. It's also going to have all these amazing people that want to make money and want to grow within this space. We can get direct information from us and answer all your questions within that group chat. And we also have a way that you can join our team and become a digital entrepreneur, right? That's going to be with I Am Mastery Academy. You can DM me. I'm ready in order to get more information on there to see if this opportunity is for you. As always, we appreciate you for hopping in the podcast. Have yourselves a great day and try your best to choose kindness.
Yes, thank you everyone for tapping in. Much appreciated as always, and bless.